years of profit in just short few months of time because they really engaged with the company as we were just getting ready to launch in North America. And it's exciting because tonight's exciting, but last night we had an event in LA. We had almost 300 people attending at our LA event last night, where people drove in from Orange County, people drove in from farther side of LA, and there are hundreds of excited people there yesterday, and tonight we're here in Northern California for the first time. On Saturday we have an event that we're going to be sharing the same information in Las Vegas. Anybody know anybody in Las Vegas? If you like what you see today, we'll give you information. You can invite them to our event. It's just also a free event on Saturday. And on Sunday, we're going to be in Houston, Texas. And I see many Filipino Americans here. There are a lot of Filipinos in Houston. If you know anybody in Houston, we're also going to be doing a live event in Houston on Sunday. And on Monday, we're going to be with MJ hosting an event in Atlanta, Georgia. And on Tuesday, we're going to be in New Jersey. So there's a lot of exciting opportunity, with Riman right now all throughout North America. But tonight we want to briefly share with you what's in it for you. And I think by now, hearing Mr. Steve Hyun explain about the company and the products, you can probably all see that there's something special here. But who cares if it has nothing to do with you? Would you agree with that? There are a lot of great products out there. But who cares? Right? How many of you like Apple, iPhone? Anybody use iPhone, right? But who cares? Who cares unless you have an opportunity to do something with it yourself? Would you agree? So my portion, I'm excited to share, is talking about how you could possibly participate in the distribution opportunity of this incredible brands that just arrived in America. And also how maybe you may be able to create a side business, or maybe really treat it as a big business, just like Angela and MJ and Steve and many leaders have done, to maybe potentially add incredible value to your family and your personal financial life as well. So, but before I dive into that, just so we're not complete strangers, I'll briefly introduce myself. My name is Danny Bay. I'm president of sales with Riman. But I'll tell you, a year and a half ago, I didn't know much about Korean skincare. I didn't know much about the whole K-beauty and industry at all. But I was in Korea. I'm born and raised in Korea. I live in Vegas. I've been out there for almost 30 years. And a year and a half ago, for my previous business, which was in the tech world, I was in Korea, and fortune came my way. A friend of mine said, "Hey, there is this Korean skincare company getting ready to open up America. They're looking for some advice. Would you mind getting together and have some coffee with them?" I happened to be in Korea. I said, "Why not?" Right? I'm sure many of you, if you're not from here, if you are from different country, I'm sure you're like me. As we leave the country, we love the country more, and I would love to see more Korean businesses succeed in America. So I went just to have coffee with them, and I heard their story, and they shared with me the same thing that Mr. Steve shared. 4 years, $2 billion, 30 million bottles sold. I'm like, this is crazy. I've never heard of such a success story in short amount of time. In Korea, thousands of brands of skincare products are manufactured in Korea, and these guys became #1 Korean skincare brand within 2.5 years, and they've been #1 consistently for the last 3 years of time. I thought to myself, this is crazy. And if they launch this in America, I'm thinking, Korea's only 50 million people. America is over 300 million people. And how many of you agree, even in America, we respect and we appreciate and we have high interest when it comes down to great quality skincare products from Korea? Would you agree with that? And I thought to myself, man, if this thing did that well in Korea during pandemic, they go to America, they're going to explode. And I thought, man, now that I know this information, I'd be crazy to miss out on it. Can you imagine being me in the CEO's office in Riman, Korea, They're just telling me they're planning to launch America. I hear all this. Imagine I go home and not get involved. And a year and a half later, you see this company became the fastest growing skincare brand to ever launch in America within first year. Generated over $60 million in revenue in America since we started marketing the product in our country. Is that crazy? You know that has never happened by any other single Korean skincare brand ever? And the crazy part is, I believe this year their growth is going to be multiple times bigger than their first year, which was last year. So imagine you were there, and imagine you were me and you were there and you missed out on it. Like, you probably regret every time you see it. Would you agree? So I'm so glad when I was there, I said yes. I said, I want to figure out a way to get involved, and I had to resign from the company I was CEO of. And, you know, we got engaged, and last year and a half or so, we prepared and we started launching, and we officially launched the company in March of last year. And now we have tens of thousands of customers that absolutely love our products all throughout the United States and Canada. However, we feel like we're just getting started, because if you look at the numbers, it's less than 0.02% of people in America that have heard about our products so far. So how many of you could agree with me? There's a huge opportunity when 99.98% of people in America have not heard about our products yet. Let me ask you a question. How many of you heard, prior to tonight, how many of you ever heard anybody told you that Korean skincare is good? How many of you ever heard that before? Prior to tonight, right? Okay. But if someone asks you, okay, you know Korean skincare is good, but if someone asks you, what is number one brand from Korean skincare, and in Korean skincare, what brand, what product should you buy? If someone asks you that question, could you answer? I couldn't have answered. I knew they were big, but I didn't know what to get. And now I realize it's because the number one brand in Korea was not available outside of Korea. Because of pandemic, they couldn't even expand until last year. And now that it's here, what if you have the opportunity, what if you could have an opportunity to have distribution rights into your community, in your city, in your state, into your market, where you could be the person getting paid to tell people about the number one K-beauty brand that just arrived in America? Would that be an opportunity that would be worth paying attention to see if this is something you should participate in? I think so, and I think that's why many of you guys are here. And as we dive into the information, I want to encourage you to have an open mind. When I was very young, I became an entrepreneur, and my mentor taught me this when I was 18 years old. He said, Danny, your mind works like a parachute. If it's not open, it doesn't work. Can you imagine jumping off the plane with the parachute not open? He said, what is the best thing that could ever happen to you by having a closed mind? Nothing good. Worst thing that could ever happen to you by having an open mind is, even if something is not for you, you could at least learn something and admit, hey, I said I got some new information. And if it's something is for you, then you could actually take advantage of opportunities that appear in your life. Would you agree with that? So as I share this information with you, I want to encourage you to pay attention to the information myself is going to be sharing right after me. Next few minutes, you're going to get a chance to hear from our General Manager of North America, Riman, Ms. Betty Perez, who just flew in from Southern California. She's going to be sharing with you why, with her 15 plus year in skincare background as an owner and an operator and a president of a giant billion-dollar company, why she chose Riman and what she's doing to operate the company to really bring this to the mass market, which you're going to absolutely love hearing from her in just a few minutes. So I want to encourage you to pay attention to the information and see if this really makes sense for you. Now, the reason this business model makes sense is usually, traditionally, this is how products get to consumers' hand. Usually, manufacturers and companies make products. They hire or partner with only a couple exclusive distributors. They hire wholesalers, and they go out there and put products into retail stores, and customers buy from them. Would you agree with that? And because this is the traditional process, there are three different parties that has to make money that's in between the company that makes the product and the customer. And because of it, customers usually pay higher price for the product, and because they have to split the profit 3 different ways, not one party is making a significant amount of profit. Does that make sense to you? What Riman said is, hey, instead of doing it that way, what if companies said, we will partner with independent distributors and let the distributors decide if they're going to market products directly to customers or retail stores or maybe even online channels. And when they do, they could decide if they want to make all the profit themselves and make high commission, or get some help to go out to market products and share the profit, but have a bigger reach by working with different partnerships in the sales channel. And companies that by doing this model, people that want to go out and directly market the products, they have an opportunity to earn high commission just by sharing our products. And with this model, also company created a program where even customers could get reward points just by buying products from the company. Every time they make a purchase, they get 5% reward points. I spend $100, I got $5 to spend on my next purchase next month, and it's very simple, and they could move up as a status as a loyal customer, like airline mileage program or hotel reward programs, where you could get a discount and benefit just by being a loyal customer as well. But let me explain the distribution side. How many of you could agree with me that in 2024, people are very familiar with having second set of income and side gig or side hustle or gig economy? How many of you heard of any of those words before, right? We're familiar with it. Matter of fact, almost 70% of adults in America today actually have additional source of income. And there's actually 76 million people in America today that actually has what's called 1099 income outside of their W-2 income. It could be on Shopify, it could be on Uber, it could be on Airbnb, it could be on eBay, it could be from Craigslist or whatever it may be. But people are looking for ways to go out there and create additional income today, probably more than ever. Would you agree with that? We saw last 4 years, inflation, go up little by little every year. And if you do the math of the 3% and 4.2% and 8.9%, just last 4 years, inflation in America, it went up 18%. 18%. Just think about this. 18% inflation in the last 4 years. How many of you could look and think of people around you in your life and say, hey, everybody in my life, their income has gone up 18% in the last 4 years? How many of you could agree with me? Most people in our lives, their income didn't go up 18% in the last 4 years of time. How many of you guys agree with that? So what happens if cost of living goes up, and if our income doesn't go up with it? Are people looking to go out there and find ways to offset the increase of the cost of living? Of course. And that's happening in America today more than ever. And because of the company said, hey, you know what if we could create an opportunity, give distribution rights to this #1 K-beauty brand, but when they do, it's very simple process. It takes 3 minutes to set up online. It's $20 to create an account. So anybody could do it. And from there, when you start marketing products, you could earn between 10 to 25 to 35% commission just by simply sharing our products and letting companies still ship the product. They do the customer service, they do the IT, they do the manufacturing, they do everything. All you do is connect the customer to your website that people are purchasing from, and you could earn between 10 to 35% commission. I believe in 2024, many smart entrepreneurs out there, this is what they're looking for. Distribution rights to reputable products that they can share and earn high commission from. Matter of fact, many people, thousands of people, every single week in America are signing up for Amazon Influencer Program, Target Influencer Program, Lululemon Influencer Program. Why? Because they want distribution rights to reputable products. Problem with those models is what? You only make 0.1% commission, 1% commission, 2% commission. If you're a power seller, maybe 3-4% commission. How many of you like 35% commission, a little better than 1% commission? Let me see by show of hands. Some of you are paused, busting out your calculator. It's not a math question. Of course, I have better. I love this model because I said, let me get this straight. All I have to do is tell somebody about the product, and when they order from me, I can make 10% or 25% or 35% of the order. They said, yep. I said, are you kidding me? I said, what's the limit? Like, is there like maximum they said, there's no limit. He said, more you share, higher percentage you could earn. And I said, how do I maximize the plan? How many of you guys are like me? Like, if you're gonna do something anyways, you wanna maximize. I said, how do I maximize the plan? They said, it's very simple. It's like a mileage program. It's a milestone program. He said, when you register, immediately every order you make 10%. $1,000, $100, very simple. But he said, as soon as you pass the milestone of 3,000 business point, which is about $3,300 in sales, you start earning 25%. He says, as soon as you pass the milestone of 6,000 business point, which is about $6,600 in sales, you make 35%. So here's a question. If it's same product, same retail price, matter of fact, our skincare products, they average between $30 to $60 per product. They're not expensive products. So same product, same retail price. How many of you, by show of hands, rather earn 35% commission than 10% commission? By show of hands? See, I told you, Steve, a lot of people in Sacramento are very smart. I asked the same question in LA. They're like asking the person next to them, like, hey, what's the right answer? Like, see, Sacramento people are smarter. Yes. So, yes, 35%, of course. Same product, same retail price, you get 35%. So, the beautiful thing about this is you only have to pass that milestone one time. Company gives you 3 months to do it. You know, if you start in February, it's February, March, and April. If you don't happen to finish by April, you get to count March, April, May. So it's a 3 months company gives you time to pass that milestone one time, and you can enjoy 35% commission on every order after that for the rest of your life as your partnership is active with Riman. Does that make sense to you? How many of you could agree with me? This is simple, very simple. And on top of this, company said we also are looking for people, not just want to market our product, but we're looking for people that want to help us grow the business by expanding the business, by finding other people that also want to share the products. Now, this is not for everyone. Let me make it very clear. I think using the product, getting 10 to 35% rebate or commission is probably everybody wants to do that. But the next part is for people that wants to actually consider treating Riman as a business, and you want to grow the business, and you would do it at a larger scale. So let me explain. We also have a position called team leader, and when you achieve team leader position, it's not 35% commission anymore, it's 45% commission. But on top of that, what happens is it's not just you anymore. It's a team leader, which means you have to build a team of 10 or more distributors in the team, also marketing products with you. But when you become a team leader, you earn commission 45% minus whatever has been paid for the people generating sales in the team. Rest of them is you because you are providing training, leadership, and an environment for them to participate. Let me explain. So as a team leader now, it's like being a business owner, right? So as an employee, I only make on what I do. As a business owner, if you have 10 employees or 20 people in the team working with you, you also get compensated on the results they generate. Would you guys agree with that? So in this model, as a team leader, if you have a planner in the team generating sales, they make their own 10%, they're happy. But what is 45 minus 10? 35. 35% becomes your commission because it's in your team that sales got generated. If you have a manager in the team, they generate sales, they make 25%, but you as a team leader, what's 45 minus 25, you make 20%, you make the difference. How many of you guys like that concept? So I said, man, that's incredible. So are you saying that if I build a team of 10 or more we could generate revenue together and we could all win together. They said, absolutely. That's how this program works. So to become a team leader, you just got to generate 50,000 volume, 50,000 business point, which is about 55,000 in US dollars, not by yourself, but you and your team's effort together in course of 5 months of time. Once again, if someone started in February, March, April, May, June, you're fine. And if you don't happen to finish by June, then you still get to count March, April, May, June, July. So it's within the most recent 5 months, you can generate 50,000 and achieve that position. And you know what's exciting? We just started this officially March of 2023, which is less than a year ago. In America alone, over 800 people have already unlocked the 45% commission opportunity. In America alone, over a couple thousand, I believe over 2,600 people have unlocked the 35% opportunity. How many of you think that's pretty exciting? We just launched Taiwan 2 months ago on December 5th. You know what's crazy? Over 11,000 people have became partners in our community in just 2 months and 2 weeks of time. In Taiwan. Now some of you guys are looking at me like, man, you do Philippine, we show you a bigger number than that. That's not up to me, okay? But I know companies talking about launching 6 to 10 more countries in the next 12 to 18 months of time. And I know Philippines is one of the countries that they're talking about in that expansion plan in next year to year and a half of time. So, you know, I don't know exactly.
Yay!
But I can tell you that if you're from that, Philippine market, if you're from Philippines, I'm telling you there could be a huge opportunity in the future as our company starts to expand more. So this is pretty exciting, but I know this is our very first event in Northern California, so I want to recognize some people that have been doing an incredible job that are founding members of Riman in Northern California. If you're a manager, if you already unlocked the manager status in the room, would you please stand up real quick? We want to recognize you. If you're